Hi there. Just let me start this by saying for the record, I do not now, nor have I ever, had any direct primary information from the art and design team at Universal Studios, nor have I ever seen any of their work, any of their diagrams, models, what have you, anything like that concerning Halloween Horror Nights before the official information has been given out each year. However, in this year and in years past, I have relied on individuals who themselves have access to such information. In other words, it's secondary sources. And there have been many people that say a lot of things, and I have found the ones who have proven to be reliable again and again and again. Those are the ones I rely on, as opposed to the unreliable sources. And there are some really unreliable sources out there. There are people, for example, who have posted really silly things year after year, such as, and somehow manage to nevertheless fool enough people, even after they've done so years past. They continue to fool people by giving bad information and pretending they know a lot, and people think that they're a great authority and mastermind and Halloween Horror Nights genius of some sort, and they think they're so wonderful because they know everything. And there's people who've said that Bloody Mary would not be the icon in 2008. People who have said that that the Usher would not be the icon in 2009. People who and who continue to say and not just guess, but insist that they're absolutely right about this. And when they're proven wrong, they pretend they never said it and hope you forget about it the next time it comes around when they want to say, So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who really have proven again and again, because they've given the correct information and have been proven right, and they've never given out false information in the past. Sometimes these people are very careful, and they actually put the information in coded messages in their posts on a forum. Sometimes they might send me some information on, through personal message or something like that, and ask me to keep it confidential, and I do. I always honor that until they themselves have released the information. Then I feel free to say something about it. What I'm saying, though, is I've relied on people who have proven themselves to be reliable again and again, and so I find myself in a strange, odd situation, which I had a previous video about, which is that I have now two completely different stories coming from various sources. Some sources say something, other sources say something else, and I'm having difficulty trying to reconcile them. Can they be reconciled? Could it be that some people have heard some information and others have heard other information, but neither have heard the whole story, and that they can be somehow all be correct in a way? That's almost possible, except for one or two details which are in absolute conflict with each other. So it's very strange, and I'm not quite sure what's what, but I'm loath to think that anybody's trying to deliberately mislead us, unless they've been asked to do so by somebody at A&E, in order to prevent information from getting out prematurely, which may be possible. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but stranger things have happened. At any rate, I'm going to try to analyze, as best I can, Halloween Horror Nights 20 based on what we know so far and what we think we know so far. It seems to me that everyone can agree that Halloween Horror Nights 20 is going to be a celebration of the 19 years of Halloween Horror Nights. That is, the celebration of the 20th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights. Now, some sources would say that the overall providing theme will be a 2006 Sweet 16 style reunion year, with the old icons coming as the icons, featuring old houses from previous years, just as they did in 2006, but updated for today, including houses that we may have seen back in 1991, like perhaps Dungeon of Terror or something, other old houses brought back and made new, and also definitely will be a house based on a motion picture. Which motion picture? Don't know yet. At least one. That's what these sources say. The other sources say, no. This is all about saying goodbye to the old icons and then being ushered into a new era of darkness, which will be all new houses, all 8 houses, absolutely new, no houses based on movies. It's this point which I cannot reconcile. One side says emphatically, no houses based on movies. The other side says there will definitely be at least one house based on a motion picture. Now, the difference, the closest I can get to reconciling that point is to think there might be houses that are inspired by movies, but not directly adapted from a specific film. In other words, in the way that Demon Cantina was inspired by From Dusk Till Dawn, in the way that Interstellar Terror was inspired by Event Horizon, but were not direct adaptations, as opposed to houses like The Thing: Assimilation, or Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Doomsday, Dead Silence. Those are absolutely movie-based houses. 2 different ways of doing it. Perhaps that might be what's actually happening, and that's where people have heard part of the information, and so no, neither side is actually saying something incorrect. But it still doesn't, they're so absolute with the way they said it that I just still can't quite make that gel together. Everything else I can sort of gel together, because I can say, okay, we have the old icons, we say goodbye to them, they're all together in a particular place, say Hollywood Boulevard, and after that we have the new stuff in the rest of the park. We have the old houses returning, but only a couple of them, and those houses are done in a new way. Indeed, in 2006, if you stop and think about it, you had old houses from previous years, but those houses were changed up quite a bit. I mean, Psychoscarapy with Jack was not the same as Psychoscarapy without Jack. Dungeon of Terror was a completely different house from the original, unfortunately. Same thing with People Under the Stairs. It was nothing like the original, unfortunately. So we can hope that if they do something like that, they can take an old house, say Dungeon of Terror, Museum of Horror, whatever, and make it absolutely stunning, new, and different, and better than any previous house by that name in years past. That's an idea. Or, and there are new houses mixed in as well, houses we've never seen before. That's one way I think I can kind of get these 2 things to gel together, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Whatever the truth is, we will find out. The truth will out. By the light of the cold, bright Halloween moon, we shall see the truth. Okay. We do know there'll be 8 houses. We do know there'll be 6 scare zones. Now I'm getting past 8 minutes. I may not be able to do my full analysis on this video. I may have to come back and do a second video. Oh well. Alright, we know there'll be 8 houses. 2 houses are a complete mystery thus far. We really have no information about 2 of the houses in the sound stages. We know one will have a facade. They all have facades. We know one will have stairs. Huh? Okay. The 3rd soundstage house is the one that we know quite a bit about, because we have 2 rooms in the house that we have identified. Those rooms are Medusa, Gorgon, and Hades' army. And I'll have, no, it's okay. So that immediately brings to mind Greek mythology. It brings to mind perhaps Homer's Odyssey, or the world of the underworld and the land of Hades. All of these thoughts are there. If there will be a movie house, this could be an adaptation of a movie involving the Greek myths. There was a huge movie this year called Clash of the Titans. Now that's a Warner Brothers picture, but somebody contacted Warner Brothers about the New Line Cinema characters a while earlier this year, asking, and found out that Warner Brothers would be quite happy with Universal adapting their characters. It sounded like they already had made such a... So could they be alluding to something without saying anything? I mean, Warner Brothers, the exec that was contacted by that other individual? We'll have to wait and see. See you next video.